Hello everyone, welcome to day 12 of our AWS Masterclass. And in the previous 4-5 sessions, we have discussed about Lambda and its application integration with a wide range of services. Now it's time for us to shift gears towards some of the other services which we'll be planning. So this is day 12, we'll be remaining having around mostly 9 days, right? It's a 21-day sessions and we are in day 12. And starting from here and just a recap. Previously, we started with introduction, account creation, budgets, IAM, then EC2. With EC2, we have seen auto scaling, load balancing, then Elastic Beanstalk with Flask and Django, then storage, then database in AWS. Then we moved into Lambda, then Lambda with for the image processing, then Lambda integration with SES and SNS. After that, we went into our microservices, creating a container and using it in Lambda. Then also how to use event bridge to schedule it and then use it like time being. If you want to recur it, you can do it. So this is what we have completed till now, and after this we have wide range of services including AI services, security, data, will be a data analysis and visualization session, and next we'll be doing a data ETL in the next session. So we have a wide range of services waiting for us in the next part. So we'll continue with that. So starting from day 12, we'll be discussing about Amazon QuickSight. So what is the Amazon QuickSight? Amazon QuickSight is AWS data visualization and business intelligence service. So it offers easy integration with various data sources. Both you can get see here, this is something like Power BI and Tableau. Okay, it's one of the competitor. It's QuickSight from AWS. It provides data visualization and business intelligence tool. So if you add images to it, if you give your data, you can create images and charts like a dashboard so that it can be interactive and it could be used for reports for business intelligence to improve the business and all. It can be properly utilized. Not only that, talking about this, it offers easy integration with various data sources. Whether your data is in your local system as a CSV file, whether you have it in a SQL database, whether you have it in some other databases, or whether you are having it in some of the AWS services, whether it's from both AWS or from outside, it is easy to connect and then take or load the data. So with the help of data and your particular skill, you can create interactive dashboards and reports. And the QuickSight provides machine learning powered insights to uncover data patterns and anomalies also. That's also an option which they will be providing. And before continuing this, I just want to enable some introduction on data visualization. It may be new for you guys. Some of you guys may have experience on it. So before we perform something like creation of a dashboard, I also just want to tell you about what is data and why visualization is important. Okay, what's the need of it and some data visualization types which you require to know so that you can understand something better with this data dashboards and all. So we'll be seeing an introduction on data visualization and some of the different types of it, and then we'll move into QuickSight and do a hands-on with some of the project. So starting with data visualization is an essential part of data analysis because it helps to communicate complex information and patterns in a simple way. By presenting data visually, you can easily identify trend, patterns and outliers that may not be apparent from the raw data. And visualization also helps to explore and understand data more effectively, allowing you to make better informed decisions and communicate your findings to others more clearly. So talking about data visualization, see here guys, your data may be in the table format. It could be a SQL database or some data. It will be tables or a Excel file or a CSV file. So if you look into the data, it will be like 1 lakh rows, 2 lakh rows of data will be there. What will you understand from it? If you just see the raw data, you can't understand anything from it. Okay, either you need to analyze some performance there. So also you can use data visualization tools also. So with these tools, if you can see what is there with the visualization, any person who sees it can understand it betterly and get insights from it. That's the idea behind data visualization. So not only that, talking about this data visualization, it is you have the data, but it's an art actually. Data visualization is the art of storytelling. Okay, it's a storytelling type where you have different place here. You can use a line graph, you can use a scatter plot, you can use a bar plot or a histogram or a pie chart or a heat map or box plot. Apart from these, you have world maps and all enabled in this Power BI, Tableau, and also our QuickSight. So there are a lot of interesting things here where you can convert your raw data into something meaningful. So let us discuss about it, and you should have a basic understanding of when I should use line graph, when I should go for scatter plot, when I should go for bar plot, when you should go for histogram, when pie chart, heat map, or box plot. If you misinterpret this, then it's completely gone. Okay, the data should be meaningful, the visualization should be meaningful. Without any meaning, if you have that, it's nothing, it's waste of time. Okay, and let us see one by one, just a simple introduction of what is the use case of particular thing. And talking about this line graph, starting with the line graph, it displays continuous data, which means when you talk about the type of data, okay, you have two types. One is a categorical one, another one is continuous one. Talking about continuous data, it's like over the period of time or over the trend you can see. Like for example, this is from the March, this is from April, this is from May, this is from June, this is from July. You could see that every month the progress and all. It's a continuous value. Okay, you plot the x and y values, you will be getting this. So a line graph displays continuous data. Like that, you have a categorical data. I'll tell you what it is in the next part. So when you need to use this line graph, you need to have your x-axis value and respective y-axis value, so that plots can be mapped and they will be interconnected with a line. So that will show a trend. Okay, for example, this point, the x-axis could be like 3 and y-axis could be like 3. So it's like 3 comma 3. So you are getting this. So you need a x and y value here. And every line graph consists of data points that are connected. So if you have multiple points, just plot it or mark it with a straight line, connect it, interconnect it, you will be getting something like this. So the purpose of connecting their lines is to help illustrate a trend. For example, you could see that we could see an increasing trend. Even though it dips at some part, we could see that it's keep on increasing, and at some part it's decreasing and then increasing, then decreasing and increasing. There is a trend which you can even visualize. And what's the use case of line graph is, when you want to show trends over time, for example, how house prices have increased over time, or what's the stock price and all, you could use line graph. And we have another type of graph, which is bar graph. This is a representation of discrete data or categorical data. So this tells us, for example, this is what categorical data is. You have 4 categories: green one, red one, orange one, and blue one. It could be like some different country names. Their respective y value will be their particular count. For example, consider this as Olympics data. Like for example, we have 4 country names, and this is country A, B, C, and D, for example. So how much medals they have won. So you have categories of data here. So this is what discrete data or categorical data. And the x-axis of a bar graph represents the discrete categories. For example, the country names, if you have, you can describe it. And the y-axis will show the measured value. For example, if you count the number of medals they have won, then it will be the count value of it. So with the help of that, there will be a height will be given. So the uses of bar graph is when you want to display data that are grouped into discrete categories. When you want to compare differences among categories and all, you could use bar graph. And talking about pie chart is a circular graph that is divided into slices to represent the relative sizes of different categories in a data set. The sizes of each slice is proportional to the percentage of the total. So it seems like it's like in the pie chart, the total sizes are around 100%. So if you have how many categories you have, how much percentage they occupy, it will be splitting that in that from the total, and it will give the area for it. And the size of each slice is proportional to the percentage of the total data set that belong to the category. And they can also be helpful for highlighting the largest and smallest categories in the data set, which you can just tell with the help of this pie chart. Anyone can understand that from here, red occupies the largest of area and green is the smallest one. So like that, we can understand some things about the pie chart. If you talk about bar graph, you can find who is the most or who is the leading. You can find it here. And with the help of line graph, we can see a trend. So that's it about these 3. So moving towards next one, which is a heat map. Heat map are useful type of plot for visualizing the relationship between two variables in a data set. So for example, if you have multiple columns, your x-axis now or y-axis, they both will be same column names. So how one is related with the other, how this is related with this one. Okay, so like that, you will be having cross match here. A heat map is used to visualize the correlation, whether if both increases, what happens. A positive correlation means if one increases, the other also increases. A negative correlation means vice versa. If one increases, the other one decreases. So a correlation is a measure of the relationship between two variables, and heat map can be especially helpful for identifying patterns and trends in complex data, so that you can just see this heat map and find who is the important person who is having a direct relation, whether the correlation about it. And then moving towards histogram. Yeah, histogram is something like your bar graph. A histogram, but it shows continuous data. If you remember, the bar plot or bar graph is for categorical or discrete data, but the histogram looks like it, but it's a continuous data in ordered rectangular columns. And we could see that they display the frequency distribution, how it is distributed. You could see that. So what's the difference between the bar graph and histogram is bar graph represents categorical and histogram represents the continuous data. So we can get a line also from here. So if you integrate it in some ways, you could get a continuous value along with their height. And the uses of histogram is when the data is continuous, when you want to represent the shape of data distribution, overall what's the distribution and all you could get from these histograms. And talking about scatter plot, a scatter plot is a XY diagram that shows the relationship between two variables. And the purpose of it is to show the relationship between dependent and independent variables. A scatter plot can be used to analyze trends also over the time. You could see a trend. You could also get the x and y axis. This can be used to find the clusters. If you plot it, if you find a group of clusters here, a group of clusters here, you can find a similar set of people and trends over with the help of that. For example, you might use a scatter plot to track the sales of a particular product. It could be like over the time and identify any trends such as seasonal fluctuations or overall growth, and all can be obtained from this scatter plot. We also have something known as box plot. A box plot is also known as a box and whisker plot. It is useful type of plot for visualizing the distribution of a data set, and the box plot can help you to identify outliers in a data set. A box plot can be used to compare the distribution. So when you want to use box plot, you can go for get the outliers, distribution, what's the mean value, what's the percentile, how they are distributed, and all can be obtained from box plot. For example, you might use a box plot to compare the distribution of the heights of men and women in a particular population data set. You could get it in the box plot. So before moving into this, I hope you guys have understood about the data visualization. Not only this, we have different modifications and different sets are also available in the data visualization part. And you also have furthermore parameters to do this. You could also integrate some more features inside of it and make it work. So we'll be just doing some hands-on before going into actual dashboard creation. I'll be using a sample data set and show you guys how you can perform this with the QuickSight with a lot of graphs available, how to perform it and all. We'll be seeing it. Anyway, before starting it, if you have your AWS account, you can't directly go and use your QuickSight because QuickSight is like a different service from them. If you search for QuickSight, it will ask you to create an account for that. You have to separately create a QuickSight subscription, and it's actually costly. When you search QuickSight, you will be getting this. You could click sign up for QuickSight. It will take you to this page, and we could see that it is giving you a 30 days of trial. 4 people can use it. It's free. Okay. After that, every month, okay, you have to pay $18. So this is actually one of the important thing. Okay. So if you want to practice, what you could do is, this is very important, guys. If you want to practice this, you can go with this free enterprise option, and then after or before this 30-day ending, you can terminate the subscription so that you can go with free. Okay. Otherwise, you have to pay some amount for it. Okay. The trial term will be for the first 30 days only. So you should be aware of that. After that, everyone using, you have to pay per author, you have to pay $18. So if you are interested to do something like this without cost and all, you can prefer Power BI or Tableau, and just watch this demo. I'll be in the end of the session. I'll also tell you how to terminate your AWS QuickSight account so that you won't be getting inside of it. And if you forget it and just leave it, then you have to pay for it anyway. It's one of the like critical service. If you want and practice it very much, then you have to go with this. Otherwise, like watch the demo, and if you want, you can use the same tools like Power BI or Tableau, which comes at free of cost. But AWS is providing, like, then companies will prefer that, right? No, not like that. They provide furthermore options, which is good comparatively with them. So it's for the companies, and for you to practice, it is best to avoid this. I'll suggest you that. Anyway, careful with that, and we can start. And I have already subscribed for it, so I can go into my console and search for QuickSight. Fast, easy to use business analytics. We'll wait for it to open. So this is how the analytics homepage QuickSight will look like. They are giving you some sample analysis. I have had one. So you could check one of these and find anything. You could import your data sets here. If you click this data sets option, it will show you the data sets available. Okay, so they have some giving you some predefined data sets. I have given my own data set. If you want to integrate your data set first before going into dashboard or analysis, you have to load your data set here. You could call new data set. So these are all the options which is available from where you can import your data set. Starting from, you can upload a file which can be of CSV, TSV, CLF, ELF, XLX, and JSON. You can do it with Salesforce, S3, Analytics, and S3, Athena, RDS, Relational Database Service, Redshift, okay, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle Database, SQL Server, not only that, Spark, Snowflake, okay, Databricks, GitHub, Jira software. From all of these things, you could import your data set and work on here. So I'll load it from my system. I can search for some sample data set which I have. Okay, I think we can go with this Titanic data set. It's from the Titanic, okay, and this is the sample which they are giving you, and you could see that this is my column names which I have and the details of it. So you could edit the settings and prepare the data, or if you want it to be okay, you can go with next. And it's the storage is available. You can store it here, and this is for SageMaker and all. It's machine learning purpose. For now, just click visualize. It will take you to the analysis part. Okay, so this is what the dashboard creation page will look like. Here you can create your own analysis, and you can export it to PDF, or if you publish it, it will be available in the dashboard also. I hope you guys know what's a dashboard. It will be having a lot of colorful graphs like with the data, so that it will tell a lot of meanings inside of it. So this is a single graph which I have, and these are all my, I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, so this is my column names which I had in my data set Titanic, and this is the graph, and here you have the options of the visual types. It could be a pie chart or donut chart. We have a lot of different options available. See here, the heat map is available. Okay, like if you have coordinates and all, you can get a globe map and all. Everything is, see here, you have a points on map. Filled map is available, and line chart, bar graph, scatter plot, everything is available here. Word cloud is available. Okay, so for example, I'll add try this word cloud. For that, you could select this available graph, and you have to click the type of it. So if you select this, it will ask you what you should group by, what's the size of it. I'll just pass the name column here. So you have to drag and drop your column names. Okay, so what it is telling you is their names, and it seems like there is a column which is other. So that's the majority. If the name is not available, the data set contains something like other. I'll just hide the other and get the rest of it. It's a word cloud which will just provide the name in the data set here. If you pass any text data, it will be just displayed like this. And you could also add a size, for example, based on their age. If the age is high, their name will be high. Like you could see right now, I can get the people who belong to the age 80, or if it's very small, you could see their age is very less. Okay, even this is a very small name and you could get the details like it. And how interactive it is, could you see guys? When I just move or scroll through it, it is just giving me their respective age value. It's the sum of it. You can arrange, or you could do a lot of process here. If you want, you can resize it. Okay, so it's a title you can define, and I'll just make it a short like this. So if anyone wants it, let's just click it and then I'll look into it. Okay, that's it. Fine, this is good. Not only this, or we can have something like elongated like this. Yeah, this is somewhat good. So if you want to have another chart like this, what you could do is you have to go into the left side and click this add option. You could ask for add visual. If you want text, you can add text. If you want insight directly from the machine learning service of AWS and QuickSight with SageMaker, you could use this insight or a title or a description. And all first we'll add a visual. It will another create another empty graph. Now you find, right, so we can create multiple graphs like this. For example, if I want to add what we'll get a pie chart here. Okay, so I'll select this and click this pie chart. So we need to add your features, you need to add it here. What's the color or group? So I think I can pass the gender column here. So you need to be aware of that. Okay, now you can't pass this with a word cloud. It will be good, not good, right? We have only two categories there, male, female will be represented. If I pass it in the pie chart, I could get, see here, for example, the number of female and the number of male. I could just see this graph and understand that the number of male is high in this data set, male is high and female is less in this data set, right? You can also change the color. For example, if you click it, it will give you the color options. You could choose some of the vibrant colors, and please select different colors so that you could see the different or difference. Okay, so the color of chart color female. Yeah, so just select particularly so that you could get different color versions. And the chart here, so I'll just make it a small one. Okay, you could also edit. For example, I'm just clicking this format this visual. So if you want to show title, you can uncheck this, means you won't be getting the title. Okay, so the legend, I can, if you want, you can go with auto is best. Data labels, I don't want it to show the labels. I have a legend here. It's just occupying a lot of space. Now it was good, right? So this is good. And yeah, this is good. You can use this. And you can also add some multiple small multiples here. We'll use it in the next part. So once again, I want to add another chart here. So the title, if it's okay for you, you can go it with count of records by 6. If you want to just change it, okay, we could yeah, you could double click it. You'll be getting the font options, the size of it. I'll just go with the gender distribution. I could save this, and this will get me a nice graph like this. Anyway, I'm not satisfied with the color. It's not that much good. I'll just change this color into somewhat like this. Okay, this is what it was available earlier. Anyway, we'll just move with this. Legend and all, it requires some space. Gender distribution is fine. Okay, this is good. Anything apart from that? Yeah, there's nothing to modify. We are in the visualize part. Let me add another graph, another visual. We'll visualize another thing. For example, okay, I think I made a mistake here. First, if you want to remove it, you can click this button and remove it, and then we'll add it once again. Okay. Yeah, it seems like I have pressed something else and it removed the mail count. Now it's fine. You could use this undo option and then revert it back and redo it. Fine. Now it's okay. I'll add another visual where I just want to get another graph. So we have a different yeah, we have a fare, right? So we'll use a line chart here. Let us select it as a, or we could go with, we'll go with a histogram here, and we need to add a value for it, and it could be like let us pass the age column. Okay, so histograms are for distribution, right? You could see the distribution. It's not that much great here. What you could do is you could click this, edit it, visualize, format it, so that it will be really good. Okay, so we'll try to color and all, that's fine. So the bin will tell you how much you want to categorize it. See here, now I'll be getting 10 bars differentiated. So for example, if I want to split it into like 20, and it will be updated. You could see that now it will be trying to split it into 20 parts, or you could also go with some minimal count like 6 is fine. Okay, so the age distribution, we could see that the people belonging to from 26 to 40 is high, and then like the middle age people is a high, we could see that, and the width you can select that to either one of it. Okay, and the value starts, if you want to like start from particular value like 5, you could give that to. And talking about x-axis, you could change the labels if it's not that much appealing, and the orientation, for example, if you want to turn it like this, now you could see, right, if it's a horizontal or 35, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, or even vertical, you could do that. 30-degree was good. Okay, and yeah, talking about y-axis, you could increase their size also, and yeah, these are all optionals. And you could also click this particular age, and you could format the number which you are representing. See here, it's not that much good, right? 13.68, 26.95. So just select this and go into the age part, and what you can do is you can click this, and you can show, for example, if you want to, if you have a percent, you can change it here. And the format, you can go with more formatting options. Okay, so what type it is, a number, fine. The separator is good. Anyway, the decimal places, I'll just go with the custom of 0, so which means I don't want any decimal places. And the units, like if you, this is a age data, you can't go with millions and all. If you have a millions of data, like if it's counted in million, instead of giving that much number like tens and hundreds of number, just you can add a m, or billion for b for billion, like that. Okay, and if you have negatives, you could handle these anyway, so that's good. We could also, I think, just format the visualization, turn it into 10 back. Okay, so if you increase its particular size, it will be really good. Based on the alignment, you have to set it, and when you go over it, you could see 128 people are from between this age of 24 to 32, and 121 people belonging to this, particularly from this data set we are getting this information. Maximum we could see 80, and that's what we have seen here also. The largest name is, the size of this names is based on their particular age. Okay, so we could see very small their respective ages. Okay, 40 and all, it's very less, means I don't know how much, if it's less than that, like the age distribution who belong to this age, we can't even see it. Anyway, this is good like that. If you want, you can add another parameter. For example, we'll add a visual. Finally, we could go with we'll try heat map. So what is the number of columns you want to add? For example, yeah, this is the count of their gender anyway. I'll remove this and remove this. We'll try to add multiple. Remove age, cabin. So you could add like this. If you keep it that particular place, you could get multiple features here. Okay, and in columns you have to pass some features. For example, passenger ID is not like whether they have survived or not, their respective, you could get heat maps like this. we'll just delete it, and then instead of this heat map we can have another graph, which is I'll add a visual. And yeah, we'll try to go with horizontal bar chart. I'll select this and select horizontal bar chart, and it's a bar graph, it's for categorical one, and I think you can go and get from the Embark. Okay, so I'll remove this and add the embarked here. So we could see that this embarked is nothing but it's the station where the passenger has boarded into this particular Titanic data set. We have Southampton, Queensburg, and another place which starts from C. And it seems like we have a empty place also. Okay, which means like there is a null value. So if you want to handle it, you have to handle that too. We can't have null values, right, in our data. So you could remove that too in such a way. And yeah, we'll do it. So you could like see here now the x-axis, y-axis and all not available, right? I could just get it by clicking this. So this is the embarked. Okay, so we could go and yeah, so later on we'll also add another feature. You have an option of color and all. Okay, I'll just click this exclude empty. Yeah, that will be good. We can remove that, and we are having these three available places. We can also add, for example, if I want to differentiate them with another feature which is color. For example, let us get whether they have survived or not. Okay, I'll just drop it here, and what you could see is 1 means they have survived and 0 means they have not survived. And from this particular data set we could see how many people from Southampton has been survived and how many has lost their life, and that's what the 0 and 1 is. Okay, so you like earlier if you click focus only on 0, so 1 won't be available, and you could get that too. And see here what from this we can understand. Or for example, if I also just remove this, I'll add the gender. Okay, so this will tell how many people, how many male actually from that particular Southampton. We could see that 318 male from Southampton. Okay, 40 male from Queensburg, and from C, I think it's Cherbourg or something, it's 64 male, and their respective female count is available. And not only that, you could also, this is a horizontally stacked bar graph. We'll add another visual here. So like that we could build our dashboard, okay, which just gives the representation. Not only this, we could also add, for example, let us get the vertically stacked bar graph. This is vertical bar graph. We'll select it, and for that you need to pass your x-axis values. I'll pass survived, how many people survived. We could see that 1 means they have survived, 0 means they haven't survived. So the only 254 people from this data set have managed to survive from the Titanic, and 407 people have died. And that's what it is telling here. This is the count. Okay, so if you want to categorize it with some value, you could get that. I think it's the sum of it. And you could also add another feature, for example, in the color. Okay, color group and all. For example, if we just add the gender column here, I could get, for example, we could see that from this, okay, how many have survived, how many have died. Okay, so we could see that the preference was given to female, so female count survived the most from this. Okay, you could also add some small multiples. For example, the passenger class is also an important feature. Okay, I think it's just remove this and add it in the color group will be good, or we'll do it separately with the passenger class. And what you could see is the passenger class, different passenger class, right? So now I have a gender and this, but how will I select it? So in the dashboard, if you just click this drill down, you will get that graph which is differentiated with color based on the gender. If you just grow up, you will get differentiated with passenger class. And we could see that the people survived from first class is high, and second class is less, and third class the differentiation, right? So we could get that differentiation here. So this is how we can use it. And like that you could build a lot of graphs like this if you want. And I have like you have other charts also, and with that, based on that particular idea, you have to integrate it and get benefited from it. And apart from this, if you want to like we'll be doing a simple data preparation and then dashboard creation with a COVID-19 data set. And before doing that, if you want to just save it, you could ask for the file to export it to PDF, and it will be working. You could view the exports. Once it is done, you could get it. Also, you could go and ask it to publish. Okay, you could create a name for it, Titanic dashboard, and you could publish this dashboard which you have created. Okay, so yeah, so if you just click into the quick site, in the exports your file will be ready. If it's ready, you could download it. And if you go into the analysis, we have done it here. If you click analysis from the dataset, we have directly came, and see here download option is available. If you click it, you will be getting this what you have designed. It's not properly aligned and all. Not only this, you could have multiple graphs. If you have it with all ready, you could get some PDFs like this. From dataset we have directly directed into this particular place, but also you could go into the analysis and restart it and redo it. You have some samples also. For example, let us see this web and social media analysis. Okay, I think it's working on it. We don't, yeah, it's just a data set. Okay, it's loading, and you could see graphs like this could also be created if you have that particular data sets, which you'll do with COVID-19 data set. This is how a dashboard will look like. Okay, and in the dashboards we have published one. So if you click it, you will be getting that particular dashboard, and you have the options of integrating it. If you want, you could share it in some way. Okay, or you could share this view. So you can get this link and make people who have the access could use it lively with the API. And if you change the data, it is dynamic, it will change. So you could get that and publish and work on it. Okay, so that's what about the data dashboard and all. So I have a new data set. Let us once again kickstart with upload a file from the local directory, and I have this COVID data set, and I am just interested to show you further more options where you would able to create a world map which tells you with the coordinates of the location and all. You could get that. We'll do that now. And what you could see is this is the data set with ISO code, continent, location, and all the details of it we are having. I'll click next. And then the space, it's 175 MB, and you have a total 10 GB of storage in this quick site is available. You could edit and preview it if you want, or directly visualize it. I particularly want to edit and preview this. Okay, so this is a data editing part or a data preparation part where you could, for example, if you want to do any pre-processing, if you want to remove anything, you could do it. For example, I'll scroll below. I just don't want, for example, if I'll select for some unnecessary columns. Anyway, we have this code which is important, but for what if I just don't want it, I can just exclude this field, and that will be available here. When you export it, that data column won't be available. If you want it back, you could include that field. It will be coming back once again. So it's a COVID-19 data set. We have a lot of data which is available, and we could see the starting date, and let us see the ending date. It's still 2022, it seems. From different countries we are getting the data sets, right? And yeah, it's giving you just a part of it, so that's why we are getting Afghanistan, and it seems like a lot of more is also available. Yeah, we'll explore it later. Before that, we'll just do some process. And for you, if you want to have your the country details and all, we need the for example, if you want that globe image and all, you need the coordinates, which is the latitude and longitude of the countries. But we don't have that column right now here, but we have a data set which is separate, which has ISO code, and you also have ISO code, which means when you just integrate both with the help of your quick site, you could combine them and get locations for each of it. So based on the country name, you will be getting the coordinates so that you can use it and map it. So to do that, you can add data and select the data and click data set or data source or upload a file. I'll upload it. I have a country codes and coordinates data set. So this is a data which has the country name, alpha code, and other details, right? So this ISO code and this alpha 3 code are same. So you can match with that. So that I'll click next, and we could see that there is some mapping happening. You could click that, and you should tell it how to join the clauses. For example, in my COVID data, it is ISO code, and in this particular data, it's alpha 3 code. And just equalize both. If they both are matching, I could get other columns, which is going to be my latitude and longitude. You could see that the average values I'm getting from this particular data set, and we are actually merging that. And let us press this apply. And now the new data set is prepared here. And what we could see this, we are getting the ISO code, and not only that, by the end I am getting the matched columns which has latitude, longitude and all. I also have a country name, and I also have a location here, so I want to exclude some unnecessary columns. I just need the latitude and longitude. So what I'm going to do is, in the alpha 3 I'll exclude this field, alpha 2 exclude this field, country name I'll exclude this particular field, and this numeric code is not required now, so I'll exclude this field. Apart from that, if you want to edit any data you want, you can click it. Okay, so you could work on that too. So you could add some filters, you could change the parameters, so you could select something and then add some things here. So I am not going to do that here. I just came here to combine those with a class, and we have done it, and this is good. And not only that, in the fields you can edit the data type of it. For example, let us just check the latitude. Okay, you could change the data type into integer, string or date or country, size and all. I just want to register it as this is latitude. Okay, you could see it has changed into a latitude, and I could change this data type into longitude. Okay, and not only that, I can combine this. Okay, I can create a folder and the name add to coordinates. So you can add, this is important, if you create in the step like combinedly with coordinates, with combines latitude and altitude, latitude and longitude, you can use it in the data set. So I'll add it. Latitude is fine, you can select the name. I'll go with coordinates. This is latitude, and this is for longitude, I'll search for longitude. So you can create this coordinate, and now it disappeared. Don't worry, if you scroll above you can find it inside coordinates. Not only that, we have a date column, it seems. I'll search for date, and you can declare the data type as a particular date. Okay, if you want to change the date time format, you could change it. It's year, month, and days which is available. If you want to change it, you could change it here, and it will be applied, and now you can update that. So that's it about data preparation. I'm good with this particular data. I just want to save this, so I can go with save and publish. Now I have the coordinates, which is really good for creating particular visualization. It's saved successfully. So let us go into our quick site, and in the analysis, let me click a new analysis, and which is the data. I need this COVID data. I'll go with that, and you could it's in progress actually, so we need to wait for it to complete, then it will tell the size. After that, we can go and use it in analysis. Okay, it's ready now. We can use it in analysis, and let us, if you want to optimize, you could change the format and all. I'll cancel it. Anyway, once again, we are starting freshly, and we have a new data set with coordinates and all. Before going into coordinates, we can just apply some other features. For example, like let us add some numerical text here which tells us the total cases. So if you search total, you have a total cases, right? You can just drag and drop here. This is actually this it don't mean anything. Okay, just a text. You could also change their appearance. For example, you can format the visual. Okay, so let us change it into large, and we could see that it's not that much visually appealing. I could conditional format this to change colors and all. We'll change it anyway. So if you just click this, you are getting the total sum. Okay, so here I just want to get the more formatting options. Okay, and guys, in the units I can go with millions and billions. Okay, so this is the total billions count. We can get that. Okay, the sum of it. Okay, so also what you could do is, we'll get, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, this is good, right? So you could change like this, or in the decimal places you could change it into 2, so it will be represented something like this. Okay, so not only that, if you want, you could change the appearance also with the format options. So you have separators. Okay, so decimal points, yeah, we know that. we'll just in millions it's not that much good, billions is good. Okay, it's the total number of cases till now. And yeah, not only that, so we can also add another feature with add visual. And let us go and get the total deaths which happened. So you could drag and drop that. So this is what the total sum of it will. Yeah, so this is the total sum of it. You could also get the average. Okay, so yeah, we'll go stick with the sum. And here also we could add the format with units as millions is, yeah, we'll go with this billions. And yeah, this is good, we'll just leave it as such. So if you want to change the size of it, you could go with formatting the visual part and change it. Large is good, fine. You could also like duplicate this and get visuals from it. So not only that, if you want to have a dynamic field which changes, for example, you want to find what's the total percent of how many deaths happened, percentage of death bar cases. If you want to avail that, let me add a visual which changes dynamically based on the data you have. For example, if you want to divide two columns and then based on their value you want to get it, so you can avail that. For to do that, you have to add a calculated field. So if you go into that, you will be getting a nice coding part here where you can also drag and drop, or in the meantime if you want you can type on your own too. So it's a simple formatting, it's not that much a big case. So what you could do is, for example, if you want to get the, I'll give some name, something like this, percentage of deaths of cases. Okay, and the value will be the sum of, if you want to pass some values, which is you have to create placeholder like we used to do it in Python with curly braces, and you could pass, I want to get the new deaths divided by the sum of, I want to just sum it with the new cases. Okay, just save this, and this will be available here in the field if you search for the percentage of death cases, right? So you could add it here. So this is what the percent which we are getting. So you could also change it in a way so that it will be really good to view. Okay, for example, let us show it something like this. Okay, this is not good. Yeah, this is good. The percent is less, 0.01% of death cases, so we'll leave with that. And next we'll add another visual here, so which could be like telling you the what's the count of new case. You could also drag and drop like this. So I'll just change their size into their particular field. Yeah, good. So now what we are going to do is we want to get sum of it. Here we are going to use this key performance indicator. Okay, so talking about this key performance indicator, you have KPI layout. Yeah, first we'll select some columns here. So I'm going to get the new cases. Okay, okay, this is here. Anyway, we'll just delete these and drag and drop this guy here and change the type of it. You could directly call for any of it. For example, I'll change it into this plot and add a target value. Yeah, we need to add a target, which could be, for example, I could go with the date column. Okay, here I'm going to differentiate it with a date. I can just drag and drop that here. So based on this today's date it is giving, so you can't get particular data which is not available. So we could change that, and before that we can get something like what's the trend and all. Okay, so in the date particularly you can formatize it. For example, let us aggregate the day into year. So based on the year, so this is what a condition it is giving you. Compared with 2023, it is reduced a lot more. Okay, so that's the decrease we are getting. That you could change this color also with formatting, or you can also go with conditional formatting, which means based on the condition if this is a condition, for example, if it's greater than or equal to 0, just go with green color, apply it. So when you don't have it, if you go with less than or equal to and apply it, you will get that particular part which is available. So you could also add that features here, and you could get some trends like this. So we could also get the new cases by continents. I'll add a visual, and let us select the type of it as a horizontal bar graph, and the chart will be like continent. So I could get that. Yeah, not color, remove it. It's just add it in the y-axis. So this is the continent details, but it's the total count how many we have. Okay, if you want to combine it with a value, for example, I want to count it based on the new cases, I could add the values here. So we have some empty, it seems. I'll just exclude this empty, and after that we could get that Asia is the high. After that we have Europe, North America, South America, Oceania, Africa, and all. So you could change the color once again. So chart color entirely could be changed like this. Okay, you could get that representation, sum of new cases based on the continent. And yeah, so now it's time for us to add and visualize another graph, which is going to be my coordinates. So I'll add a visual, and you could select it here, or you could just drag and drop your coordinates. If you do that, it will automatically load your map. Okay, so you could see that based on the coordinates you could get the number of count of it. From that particular page you could zoom in a bit and find from your respective places also. So not only this, you can change it based on, for example, what's the size you want to change, so or the color. For example, if I want to get the size of it based on the new cases, if I pass it here, so based on the new case count, where the new case is high means I'll be getting bigger size here. If the new case is less, I'll be getting smaller sizes here. And it will be really good if I have multiple columns and I'll ask the user to select with the drop down menu to get what column he wants to visualize. I could do that, and to achieve that we could do some options and we could get that. To do that we could add a parameter, and you could add like metrics. Okay, and what's the default value? It's also, we can go with new cases. It's the default value. I'll create this, and you could control it, and when you go with control, I'll just select it as a drop down field and give a name for it, metrics once again, and you can define a value, like for example it's a new case. Okay, new cases, yeah, we'll just remove the underscore. New cases per million, new deaths. I think this is the correct in the data set, per million and all, new deaths per million. So we need to add a code for it so that it can be worked. Okay, so yeah, we can edit also. I'll check the per million and all. Yeah, new cases per million is available, new deaths per million is also available. We could use that. Anyway, in the parameter part we'll search for metrics. It's here in the parameters, and this is available here, or you can just move to the sheet, so that drop down menu is available for you here. Okay, new cases is default, we could remove that. We can get that, and when I click it particularly, I just want to reflect here the changes. Okay, I hope you understand what we are trying to do. To do that, you have to add a conditional or a calculated field. For example, you can go with metrics display. Okay, a name for it. And what this do is, we need to get if else statement. Okay, and here you can type your if else conditions. For example, I just want to get the variable which is metrics, and if the metrics is equal to if the option selected is new cases, okay, comma, you can pass the variable which is new underscore cases. Okay, comma, You could also ask again, which is if the matrix is, it is a conditional format you could give. If it's new cases per million, just pass this particular thing, which is new cases per million, comma, and if the matrix is equal to new deaths, you could pass this, which is new underscore deaths. And finally, if the matrix is equal to new deaths per million, comma, we could pass this, which is new underscore deaths per million. Yeah, fine. Once you've done that, you could save it. Okay, yeah, it seems like we have some errors here. We'll check for it. Yeah, actually here we need to add like else statement. So that's what the issue. Else statement, I could just pass this new deaths per million. So if I just save it, it will be no issues with that. And what we need to do is yeah, I'll delete this. And here, okay, so this is matrix display we have, right? So here, instead of the size, you could just remove this, and you could pass this metric display here. So now, whatever things you select here, that particular thing will be reflected here. So this is new cases per million, this is new deaths per million. So based on that, it will be reflecting with this option. So that's how you could utilize your like metrics and use this additional parameter option, calculated field, to change the values based on the code. Yeah, so that's it. You can define and create some more like this. For example, you can add a visual and you could pass. Finally, we'll choose the date. We could get the date here. Okay, and it could be of like a line trend or the graph which you want. Okay, and you could add some more features. So this is a vague one, so we could just change this into year wise. Okay, so based on the trend which happened, you could see that. So we could do a lot more conditions like this. If you want, you could also publish this, so that we will be getting it as a dashboard, COVID dashboard. You can publish it, and if you want to integrate it somewhere, you could also get that from the dashboards. Okay, so this is now available. I could see that and analyze it, and based on the metrics, I could select that. Fine. So yeah, so finally, before ending this session, I'll just tell you guys how to wind up this. If you just don't want to have it, you could delete it. Okay, I'll just delete what all things I have created and delete this account of QuickSight, which is important before that 30 days. Otherwise, you have to pay like $18 per user. So in the dashboard also, if you don't want it to exit, you can delete it. And finally, if you want to delete this particular QuickSight account, you have to go into the QuickSight, and here you have to go with manage QuickSight, where yeah, here you can get your account settings left side, and you could manage and terminate your account here. You could click manage, and yeah, you could get the protection off. And if you type confirm and delete it, this particular QuickSight account will be terminated, which is unsuccessful. Sorry, unsubscribe has been successful. So everything will be deleted, so you can go free. If you want, you could sign up once again also. So that's it about this particular part of QuickSight. I hope it was good. So in the next session on day 13, we'll be discussing about AWS Glue for ETL jobs and all, extract, transform, and load. We'll see you in next session. Thank you.